Hey, this is Jasper Gregory in Oakland by Lake Merritt. So I wanted to talk to you about the wild and weird world of transsexual politics. And in this case, transsexual hatred and bigotry towards transsexuals. It's pretty sick. So what you have, there's a group of transitioned transsexuals. And again, male to female is mostly what I know, so unless I state otherwise, that's what I mean when that's what I'm talking about. So you have a big group of male to female transsexuals. They were born as males, and then through cross-dressing and then eventual transition, now present to the world as female. The process used to include going through all of these medical gatekeepers in these big clinics, and they didn't actually, it's a kind of construction of the medical industry, the category transsexual, in, I believe it's the 50s, but I may be wrong. And part of it is they had this whole list of hoops you had to jump through in order to transition, in order to get the approval of the clinicians, and to go through the process of hair removal, hormone treatment, and eventually genital surgery to have the penis removed from your body, or reconstructed in a way that looks like a vagina. Now, the original group who did that didn't believe that their patients were actually female. They thought that they were maladjusted males. They thought that the males were crazy. And part of what they did, so in order to do this, you kind of had to prove how crazy you were. You had to, and one of their craziness things was you had to totally hate your own body. You had to hate your penis. So it's not like nowadays where they had a concept of transgender or genderqueer or two-spirit or whatever, that you could say, oh, I want to present my gender differently. No, you just had to be crazy in their eyes, and they had their whole list of craziness. But once you went through this process, they didn't actually think of you as female. They thought of you as a male, a male without a penis. I think the quote is from Blanchard, actually, the big bugbear of the transsexual activists. So one of the weird things is now you no longer have to jump through all those hoops in order to get hormone treatment. So there's a lot of people, especially I meet them in the Bay Area, San Francisco Bay Area. I meet transsexuals almost on a daily basis. I'd be willing to bet that this is the transsexual capital of the world, transgender transsexual capital. And you get a lot of people experimenting with it. It's kind of a lifestyle thing. Transition, detransition, genderqueer, this, that, and the other. And you have a lot of non-operative transsexuals. In this case, talking about male to female, that's males have gone through the electrolysis to remove the facial hair and hormone treatments, which don't actually lower your voice, they don't change your bone structure, but they redistribute body fat in a way that you eventually grow breasts and get more hips and ass, and your cheekbones fill out a little bit. Especially if you're if you're curvy, if you're fat, then the more body fat you have, the more voluptuous you become. So anyway, but what we have now is we have this whole group of the Paleo-Transsexuals, the ones who went through this whole process in the past, and followed all the protocol, and including this body hatred and saying you hate your penis, you blah blah blah. But now they've they've redefined it, using modern politics of recognition and and tolerance. They've redefined it that no, they aren't crazy, which by the way, I'm not saying they're crazy, but they keep the same protocol. So they say, no, we're truly women. God made a mistake. God actually assigned us woman, or biology, destiny assigned us woman, but there was an accident and we have a penis. But we're actually true women. But they go back to this old fucking protocol, which says, oh, I have to hate myself. I have to be filled with self-hatred and self-loathing. And that's what they've taken as the proxy for true womanness. And then they look at other people who are more like me. They're more, they don't believe in the social roles of male, female, or they're not sure, they're questioning, and they call us freaks. Or they call, I'm not really a transsexual, but they call true transsexuals, males who've done the electrolysis, who present as female, who present to the world as female, but don't want this horrifically intrusive surgery to fuck with their genitals. They call them freaks and perverts. They call them men in skirts. So there's this whole splitting. But the interesting thing is they're taking this old paleo idea of what a transsexual was, and then using it against these newer forms of transgender. And it's pretty sick. I ran into a trans man in a cafe today, and he was telling me, so that's a female to male transsexual, who just started hormones, but saying that's still, even he was saying he thought maybe the majority of people who transition, who get their genital surgery, have these kind of ideas. That anyone who's not filled with loathing for their genitals is a faker, is a cross-dresser, isn't truly a man or a woman like they are. So, it's this old kind of the first in the door, the privileges that they've accrued, having a passport which says that they're a woman or a man and all of this, and then they take those privileges and they say, you can't have them, you're all freaks. So they take the hatred that society has for them, calling them crazy, calling them freaks, calling them perverts, and then putting on people who didn't make the grade. So that's transsexual hatred of transsexuals. And it just kind of shows the whole identity politics, including these politics of recognition, of being nice, of an affirmation of saying, oh, we believe you, you're really women, you're truly women, that they then take around and they take this as a privilege that they have, an entitlement, oh, I'm a woman, and all those people are just men in skirts, they're freaks and perverts. Don't let them into your organizations, don't give them the treatment that I ask of myself and the tolerance that I ask. It's tolerating intolerance. That's why I'm making this video. I don't believe in tolerating intolerance. I think it's one of the big problems of identity politics, and I think it's got to stop. Thanks for listening. Bye-bye.